What's going on, everyone? So, the Lakers have been dealing with all kinds of injuries, and we really could use getting some of these guys back. As you saw in the Warriors game, we finally got back Max Christie. That's big, right? It's a defensive guy that can hit some threes, hit a couple threes. He's not really like the ideal guy to return just because he's 20 years old. I like Max Christie a lot. I think he's going to have a ton of potential and could really be a huge piece for the Lakers in the foreseeable future. I mean, very soon. But he's a 20-year-old kid. He plays like a 20-year-old kid at times. He struggles fighting over screens and just kind of decision making isn't quite there yet. But I have full belief and faith in Max Christie and his progression. He has just completely continued to grow and shown the progress over just last year to this year. And I expect that to continue. But it was just good to have an extra body that you could throw at somebody on the defensive side of things. And we need to start getting other guys back, especially our defensive pieces. I mean, pretty much our entire defense is out, outside of Anthony Davis, of course, who he is kind of like the nucleus for our defense. But let's go through some of the injuries and some of the updates as we move forward for this season. As we make this push, we got 25 games left. We need to win at least 15 of them, if not more, if we really want to make the postseason and not the play-in. But LeBron James, will start with him because he's the quickest. So LeBron missed the Warriors game. A lot of people are upset about that, myself included, to an extent. I'm not as upset as many are, just on the fact that, look, if we have to take an L in the Warriors game for LeBron James to be healthy come the postseason, then to me that's more important, or the play-in, even if we are a play-in team, we need LeBron as close to 100% as possible. Now, there are concerns, as it was reported that LeBron James has been dealing with this injury for a while, and it's something that he's going to have to kind of manage, that he needs rest, but the Lakers just aren't in a position to let him have rest. Hopefully, this isn't something that continues to progress, something that continues to be an issue, because we need a two-legged LeBron. We saw what happened last year when we had a one-legged LeBron, and we really needed him to kind of close, take over games, and dominate in a conference finals matchup, and he just wasn't able to do that, and thus we ended up getting swept. And all those games were very winnable, very close to where if you had a healthy LeBron James, what does that series look like? I'm not saying that the Lakers would have undoubtedly won that series, but you never know, right? Those games were very close. That entire series was only decided by like 24 points. A fully healthy LeBron to help close down the stretch or take over in spots where need be may have been the difference. So we need him healthy come the postseason. So hopefully, I imagine he's going to continue to get treatment. We can't really afford him to miss very many games, right? So we need him for as many games as possible. It's unfortunate that we have so many back-to-backs this year. Obviously, we all would have liked him to play the Warriors over the Spurs, but hey, if we can get LeBron back and all but, I don't want to say guarantee a win because nothing's really guaranteed in the NBA, but as close to it as possible, then go make that happen. But it'll be good to kind of get LeBron back, let him get into a flow, let him get into a rhythm with the other guys. Hopefully we can get back on track against the Spurs. Cam Reddish. So Cam Reddish was out for the Warriors game. He was questionable going in. As of right now, he's still listed as questionable, but it looks like he's kind of closer to a game time decision, that they will kind of give us a full update on Cam Reddish as we get to the game. Now, it could change. Maybe he already is back, depending on when you're watching this video. So that would be nice. But he is basically any day right around the corner. He's another guy that I'm sure people are going to be a little disappointed if he comes back for the Spurs game and he didn't play the Warriors game, because he's a guy that we need just desperately. Jared Vanderbelt, who we'll talk about here in a little bit, he's our best on-ball, point of attack, defensive guy. Cam Reddish is second in line in that regard. Yes, Cam Reddish isn't the offensive player, but the way that the Lakers have, not counting the Warriors game yesterday, that offense, in my opinion, was just rough. But the previous 15 games before that, we saw, even before Jared Vanderbilt's injury, the Lakers were doing a really good job of making him a offensive weapon, an offensive threat. And Cam Reddish, not by a significant margin, but Cam Reddish is a slightly better offensive player than Jared Vanderbelt. So if they were able to get Jared Vanderbelt into the double digits as far as scoring goes, then I would imagine that they should be able to do the same thing with Cam Reddish. And so that would be nice to kind of have him playing that Jared Vanderbelt role, also being able to defend the best player on the other team. His size, his athleticism, his ability to defend essentially 1 through 5. Now, obviously, you don't want him like matched up against like a Jokic or anything like that, but most bigs, if he had to get switched on him, he has the size and athleticism to kind of hold his own. But it's more so out on the perimeter, defending the best player on the other team, kind of just putting some size, some length, some athleticism, and some physicality on those guys. So we definitely need him back sooner rather than later. Looks like we may be able to get him back during the Spurs game. If we don't get him back the Spurs game, then I'm pretty confident. Now, obviously, nothing is 100%, but I am fairly confident that we would get him back for the next game against the Phoenix Suns, which we definitely need him against the Suns and the Clippers because, Phoenix, Bradley Beal probably will be back for that game. It's just how it goes, right? So if you're going up against Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, you really need as many defensive just guys and bodies as possible. And Cam Reddish being able to defend either of the three would go a very long way. Next up, Christian Wood. We did get an update for Christian Wood. So originally it was reported that Christian Wood would be out 2 weeks. Now it looks like he, based on reports, he will be out a minimum of 2 weeks, that he will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So hopefully we get good news and he's back and he returns, but more likely than not, the Lakers are going to take the precautious side, as we've seen with basically everybody on this roster. The Lakers have really tried to, hey, this guy could come back today. Let's give him a couple extra days just to fully make sure that he's ready. So more likely than not, I wouldn't be surprised if Christian Wood misses till middle of March, maybe. Hopefully not. I would love to have Christian Wood back. Again, he's kind of hot and cold as far as the rotation goes, right? It's like some games he'll get like a significant role in minutes, and then some games he's just kind of like out there just to have a body out there for a moment. Which, I personally don't like the way that Christian Wood is being utilized. I actually think he could have a much bigger impact than he has had with this Lakers team. And I think a lot of it is just the lack of consistency for him, right? It's like, how do you really get a rhythm? How do you really kind of, play consistently well when it's like, well, one game you're getting 10 minutes, the next game you're getting 15 minutes, the next game you're not playing at all. It's something with Christian Wood. It's just like, for whatever reason, Darvin Ham just doesn't like to use him very much. And I don't really get it just because he's so versatile, right? I know he's not like a 5-5, but many matchups you can kind of get away with it, especially against bench units. But also his ability to stretch the floor. I don't even mind in some matchups him kind of playing the 3. We saw him, he did that against the Suns, and he was excellent on Kevin Durant. Again, you can't just do that against anybody. Certain teams, certain matchups. He's also pretty good at just staying in front of guys and gets switched on smaller guys quite often anyway. And more times than not, it does a pretty good job of at least holding his own, right? If he's playing the 3, you'd want him backed up with like an Anthony Davis. But hopefully he's not gone too long. Hopefully he returns sooner rather than later. Next up, this is what Jovan Buha reported after speaking with Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham says there is no update on Jared Vanderbelt or Gabe Vincent. Status quo, Ham said. So, essentially, we're just going off of the previous updates. Nothing has changed in any manner, as it appears. So, Gabe Vincent is still on track to be back middle of March, more likely. It was reported early to mid-March. Again, the Lakers are probably going to be more cautious than anything, especially with Gabe Vincent, a guy that's only played 5 games this year because he came back and then needed to go have surgery and ended up being out. Um, Kind of falls into Christian Wood thing also. Like, does the same thing kind of happen to Christian Wood, where it's like he needs surgery and decides to not go the surgery route, comes back, and then is not able to play? That's going to be something we're going to have to see and find out. But Gabe Vincent, look, we need Gabe Vincent, point of attack defensive guy, a guard that can just, you can sick on the opposing guards for the other team. I'm curious to see how significant of a role he plays, just because, again, he's only played 5 games, and in those 5 games, he wasn't great. But this is a guy that has elevated when he gets to the postseason. So the hope and the idea is you get some version of Gabe Vincent we saw with Miami last year. If that happens, then the Lakers could be in pretty good shape. Because, again, it just gives you a guy that can knock down the 3 ball, initiate your offense, and also defend multiple players on the opposing other team. Having him and Spencer Dinwiddie as like your backup guards to kind of have just that nice 4-guard rotation. Hopefully not all 4 of them are playing at the same time. But to kind of have, hey, we can go with a Reeves and Vincent, or a Dinwiddie and Reeves, or a Dinwiddie and D'Lo, or Dinwiddie and Vincent and D'Lo, right? To have those interchangeable guys, I think would help a lot, and just, again, give you another defensive guy. If we can get into the postseason and have Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbelt and Gabe Vincent back, those 3 guys in particular, obviously Max Christie can do some defending as well, but more so the more experienced, polished guys. Those are the guys that I think we need badly, right? To kind of have them come back and be able to throw them on the opposing team's best players and have them in various lineups with offensive threats. It'd be pretty good. And then Jared Vanderbilt rounding out the video. So the problem is we're not out of the woods with Jared Vanderbilt, and we need him desperately. I mean, we need him more than probably anybody else not named LeBron James that's out. Just, again, his elite level defense, the way he looked right before he got hurt. I mean, he's just so valuable to this team. He really is. He's a big factor and difference maker. Because, again, it's just a guy that can defend the best player on the other team and do it better than pretty much anybody in the league. I mean, this is a guy that is arguably the best perimeter, best on-ball defensive player in the NBA. And his ability to just defend not only guards or forwards, but multiple positions, right? Again, a guy that can defend basically 1 through 5. Again, you don't want him defending a Jokic or whatever, but if he ended up getting switched on him or something, you can trust that he's going to at least make things difficult, make things challenging. And then even on the offensive side, he was actually having a really good offensive stretch before he got hurt, moving without the basketball, not just being posted in the corner and just staying there. Actually, being an off-ball cutter, and just his hustle and energy. And plus the other ways he impacts the offensive side. And yes, Jared Vanderbilt impacts the offensive side a lot. Offensive rebounds, right? Getting steals, getting out in transition, right? All of these things help us generate more offense. And then on top of that, I mean, we know how good the Lakers can be defensively with him. Lakers literally go from middle of the pack defensively to one of, if not the best defensive teams in the league with just Jared Vanderbilt. Imagine what we could be with him and Gabe Vincent and now Spencer Dinwiddie, and you add in a Cam Reddish, right? Like, the Lakers could be in very good shape on the defense side of things, but it's just a tough spot for them to be in right now. And hopefully we start getting these guys back sooner rather than later. But again, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Hopefully, again, we get these guys back sooner rather than later. But, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.